it's not just individual artists who are using the internet to display their work. Our great national galleries are also seizing the opportunity to bring their collections to a wider audience. What you find on the walls here at the Tate Britain still isn't the full picture. In fact, there's only room for about a third of the collection to go on display. To find the rest, we've got to go underground. Stashed away behind the scenes in carefully controlled storage rooms lie the rest of the tens of thousands of works in the Tate collection. Many of the works are on paper, considered too fragile to have on display. As a result, they rarely, if ever, appear in the gallery itself.
Well, if we take out this screen print, for example, by Peter Blake.
Shall I close the drawer?
Yes, why not?
Okay.
Okay, so this is an example of the sort of thing that's stored down here, and the sort of thing that, in a sense, although accessible, is relatively inaccessible right now.
Works like this Peter Blake print can only be seen by appointment. Inevitably, it's a tiny proportion of the Tate's visitors that ever set eyes on it. But the gallery has embarked on a programme that aims to make the hidden collection available to a wider audience. My guide for the day, Oliver Vickers-Harris, is in charge of the Tate Insight Project, a lottery-funded scheme to display all of the gallery's artworks as digital images on its website.
Well, essentially it's about accessibility. The Tate's collection is a public collection, and although we've got 4 display sites, there's a limit to how many works we can actually fit on the walls. So it's very important that we've got a means for making the rest of the collection available, and Tate Insight provides us a method through new technology of doing that.
It's an immense undertaking, and the team here is making 50,000 works available on the web in just 18 months, at a rate of 150 a day. So how does it actually work? I mean, it's not as simple as me just taking a little Polaroid of it now and...
No, the way that we actually work, the works go to a specialist imaging studio where we have a copy stand, which is essentially a flat surface that moves up and down under a high-resolution digital camera.
Under the spotlight is a print by the sculptor Henry Moore. He created it in 1981 and donated it to the Tate the following year. It has been kept in controlled storage rooms ever since. Some initial preparation over, it's ready to be photographed. The camera captures the image in electronic form and transfers the information across to a computer.
The technology really isn't that different to the sort of domestic digital cameras that people are buying and using at home. It's just a higher resolution.
Resolution is the quality of the digital image. The higher the resolution, the greater the detail.
We create a range of different resolution images. So we create a set of images for use on the website. We create a higher resolution set of images that can be used for access points internally. And then we also create a master, a very high resolution image, which is archived, and that will be used for publishing purposes in the future.
As well as creating images for the website, the team also catalogue the works to help visitors search through the collection. The artist's name and the title of the work may be enough for those who know exactly what or who they're looking for. But the website's archivists are also adding a facility to explore the collection by broad subject areas.
One of the key things is that we want to provide lots of different routes in for lots of different types of people. So in relation to this Peter Blake work, for example, of course you could access via Peter Blake as the artist, but equally well you might be a researcher interested in pop art, so you might access through that particular group movement. Or indeed you might be interested in this case, the subjects to do with Alice in Wonderland, so you could get in through that literary character, or just the fact that there are flowers in the picture.
To make this kind of search possible, the archivists identify key features of each work, from artistic movement to subject matter, and add tags to match. Visitors to the website can then select their own subject area, or combine a few, and summon up all the works that match. The Henry Moore print is now ready to appear on the Tate's website. There are access points in the gallery itself, but the site is also available to anyone with a connection to the internet.
The essence of the whole thing is familiarisation. I mean, one of the barriers to entry to galleries has always been, in a sense, fear. You know, people feel that they don't know what they're going to find in there. They're uncomfortable. They don't know when they look at something on the wall, they don't know quite what they're confronting. They perhaps don't know how to read it. They don't know anything about it. Through new technology, we can break down some of those barriers and allow people to ask some simple questions at their own pace on their computer at home, so that when they come to the gallery, it's a much friendlier experience for them.
As well as helping to support and encourage visits to the galleries, the Insight project also aims to make the collection available to people who have no opportunity to visit at all.
There are people at home who are bedbound or disabled that perhaps can't access galleries. There are people in other countries that can't afford to travel to visit works of art. So the web can get over those problems.
One problem the Tate does face is that the quality of its web images, like those on Dougie Field's site, is inevitably limited. But it is trying to balance the needs of the general public with those of the serious art researcher.
One of the things that we've been thinking about for the future is generating communities of specific types of user who would possibly register with us in terms of their interest, and in return for their registration they would get access to specific services, or indeed, you know, commercial partners who might have access to much higher resolution image files that they can download and use for commercial purposes for a fee.
Future uses of the material may still be in development, but Oliver sees the original scope of the project as the main priority.
I'm personally very enthusiastic about this way of working. In a way, it's the answer to a sort of very age-old question of, okay, you've got all this material, all this important historic stuff, and you've got millions of people out there that need to see it. And, you know, there's a dual responsibility. You've got to preserve it and you've got to look after it. But also, you know, if nobody sees it, it's dead.
The Tate Insight project promises to widen access to the collection, so it's time to see if our internet art pundits are going to take the bait.
Yeah, I'd use the site if I was reading about something or saw a picture of a painting. I might go in to have a look and get more information.
I think it's good that you can access this at home, because again it's good for reference, and you know, anybody can avail themselves to it, you know, internationally as well, globally. They can sort of look at these arts or pieces of work.
The reproductions are very good, but you have to go and see the real thing. You can't see the texture and you can't really see the detail. They're good reproductions, but they're very small on a screen, so you're not going to really get the full impact.
There's plenty of artists I haven't heard of, you know, and you can browse through and maybe find people you've never, you know, heard of, look at their work and yeah, sort of think to yourself, yeah, that's something I like, can I go and have a look at it in the flesh?
I think it's a good thing that you have art on the internet, because that gives everybody access to it. A lot of people aren't mobile and a lot of people can't access museums and galleries and things, so it's a great idea. It's really good. It's looking into the future.